Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 10:03. And thank all of you for being here. This is our last meeting of 2020, and I got to tell you, there's some sense of relief in that, right? Not that, the calendar changing automatically changes everything else in the world, but I think that I hope anyway, that all of us will be going into 2021, having come to, dealt with some difficult things, but also recognizing that, we have some strengths and we have deeper connections and the ability to get through things and make things happen like this program, right? Even when things get impossibly hard sometimes. And that we can always find the bright spots of us, working together, of coming together, of adapting to those changes, to continue to commit to our mission, right? And to continue to serve the public and be innovative in the way that we provide services to the public and educate the public and maintain our gardens. And then we have all the joys that we can celebrate, around that, even if they're less than ideal. And then we have wonderful things like a new baby to celebrate. And so there's always that silver lining. So I hope that going into 2021, we'll actually be a little more prepared for what's ahead and know that there is actually some light at the end of that tunnel. And next year, my plan is to have us all in a conference room together, celebrating the end of the year, healthy and safe and proud of ourselves and the program. So next on there, I guess, is the approval of minutes. I suppose I should have done that first, so I apologize. So that the minutes for November 12th meeting were attached. I'm not sure if everybody has had a chance to take a look at them. So I'm going to give you just like maybe 30 seconds, a minute to go through that.
And Melissa, I just sent you a note in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the chat box regarding the minutes. So, and
Yes,
I see that you also asked someone to.
I saw it.
You did? Okay. And I will go ahead and create an attendee list for you too.
Okay,
so
great.
I'll send that to you after the meeting.
Yeah, I just saw it, and I'm typing the minutes that they'll be approved as corrected, and that'll, the typo will be the correction unless more are added during
Okay.
the meeting.
Yeah, very, very minor, but thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'm surprised. I can't do spell check on this particular file for some reason. When I try to do it on my computer, it just says everything's fine. Spell check's complete. Everything looks good. And I'm thinking, I don't know. Okay, great. I'm going to go back on mute.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, everyone, I think we'll go ahead then, and I will ask for, I guess, approval of the minutes is corrected. Can I have a motion?
I so move.
Nicole?
I'll second it.
Second.
Yeah,
That's Alex Bagley.
I saw Rowan has got a correction coming up too, so she'll just send that to me and I'll take care of that.
Okay, so we'll approve as corrected. Okay, thanks everyone. All right, so moving on to postcards. I already I think I thanked you all and hopefully have a message for 2021. We're so grateful to have Alexa back. Part-time and marvelous for all of us, and she'll give her report a little bit later about how things are going and any updates. And Peg, I think that you had a topic you wanted to discuss with everyone.
Yes, I got let me get the email in front of me. Last night, an email came in about the Egg Center, Egg Museum. Just so I read it correctly. hang on. Yeah, it came from Melinda Pettit. She said the Ag Museum in Santa Paula is wanting some interactive features in the garden for the future. She's not sure what they have in mind, but we're hoping our brilliant master gardener minds would have some ideas. And she said she has contacted Susan Carter about helping out as well. Anyway, so she would like ideas and suggestions from us. And so I wanted to at least bring it up so people could be thinking about it over the next couple months. I'm assuming this isn't something they want done in the next 3 weeks. But I know in my neighborhood, right after COVID, one yard had made like their own interactive garden along the sidewalk where they had laminated riddles with the answer, and you know, that you could swing the, it was just with like a clip that you could swing, you know, had the question and then swing it to the side and the answer was underneath. I'm sure that's that's less permanent, but that's what came to mind when they talked about an interactive garden. Something that, you know, looked like it was really meant for like a grade school age children, but all of my adult friends that have walked by have really enjoyed the riddles. And they were all nature related. You know, the answer was some sort of animal or insect or, so that's throwing out one idea. So if other people have ideas.
And Peg, is their aim that these features be educational?
That much wasn't included. I read you what Melinda sent me, so
Okay.
that's what I have.
They could do like a scavenger hunt. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Some sort of a, you know, something where they have to find such and so in the garden.
Yeah, that's always fun. And, you know, and like Peg said, you know, you can say like it's for younger kids or whatever, but you know, we all like to find stuff, right? It's like,
Right.
or, you know, nature themed stuff like, you know, can you, you know, if you spot animals or birds or, you know, things like that. And they might put some, you know, clay or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Little animal things out there, create little fake habitats for animals and then have features like about that, like about hummingbirds or bees or whatever.
Yeah. And
We should do that for COVID because this could be an excellent external CE. We could go visit other gardens and see what they do, but
oh yeah,
we can still do that independently.
The national parks all have junior ranger programs, which are very helpful with that if we were to even take parts of it. But every park has a little pamphlet and the kids they have a scavenger hunt. They have different questions about nature and that may be an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, really good
Very
idea.
good. Very good.
I've just got to write some of this down.
Okay, well,
Hey,
and
one second, I'm sorry. I was typing, who was it that suggested the example of the junior ranger program?
Christine.
Christine, okay, thanks.
And I thought this
Peg?
is something we could revisit in January or February sometime, because to me, there's a lot of questions that I didn't have a chance to answer is how soon, the age level, you know, what age do you want to target?
and the budget. would be good
Is there
to
a
know.
budget for it?
Yeah.
And
So-
Peg, I just discovered that one of our first year master gardeners, Diane Burke, is an exceptional artist. So you might just put her name down if there's some art that needs to be done on whatever you're going to do. She has a public show on the corner of Moon Drive and Victoria in
Oh.
Ventura,
Oh,
and a really amazing, huge piece. So if anybody is in Ventura, make sure you see that.
Also, we should translate, make sure everything is translated into Spanish.
Yep.
Good idea.
And I don't know who Russ Swanson was saying yesterday, he can do that kind of stuff. So
Ah,
that's Kip's husband.
Ah,
And I just posted a link in the chat to Diane's art if anyone's curious, wants to check it out.
Great.
cool.
Okay. In the meanwhile, if you have any other ideas or resources that you would like to share, you can just direct them to Peg and I for now, and we'll make sure that they get passed along, and then we'll go ahead and follow up with all of you in the future once we have some more details and information. But in the meanwhile, keep your ideas coming. Okay. And Peg, did you have anything else you want to say to the
That's
group?
all I had.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I cannot see. Is Harry on the call today by any chance?
No,
I'm
I
not
haven't seen
seeing
him.
Okay. And I didn't hear from him either. So I'm assuming that he couldn't be here. So I'll send Harry an email, and I don't know when, for January, we can definitely probably have the numbers for November and December, I hope. And then he'll figure out what to do about the end of year report. So I'll touch base with him and we'll have that information soon. Okay, Education Committee.
well, we don't have too much, well, from my end of it, Rebecca and I, we don't have too much to report, but I need to give a huge round of applause, a huge thank you to the people from Helpline who just completed the one-to-one training online. So Nicole, who sort of spearheaded the initial movement to do that, and then Susan and Joe, who really created a great program. Julian, Terry Sciarrino, Diane Bertoy, and Nicole worked as trainers. So I just thank them. So we got 14 out of the 16 of they were trainees to finish that portion of the one-to-one helpline training. So I think that's really good. And the Education Committee thanks you greatly. So that's all I have. Rebecca, do you have anything?
Nope, you're the boss.
Okay,
Well, I
have a
don't know.
question. I have a question. It's Melissa. It was Nicole, and there was a name I wasn't familiar with that you said that helped
Terry
with.
Serino.
Terry
Terry.
Sciarrino.
How does she spell her last name?
He, Terri. And
T-E,
I'll
email?
text it. I'll text it to you.
Okay,
Or chat
okay,
it to you.
yeah, that'll be great. Actually, if you email it, it's better because,
I'll do that.
yeah,
I'll
because
email it.
when I'm in my document, if I had a double screen, it would be great, but I just have the one, so.
Okay.
Makes it
No,
easier.
I'll email all the
Good
names
job.
to you.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rona. And thanks, Rebecca. Okay, Communications Committee.
But Peg, the rest of our committee may have something.
Oh, I
No,
apologize.
thank you. I don't. Nothing
Okay.
new.
Okay. All right. Next up is Communications Committee.
Yes, I'm here. This is Michelle, if you can hear me.
Yeah, Michelle, we can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay. Yeah, nothing new to report since last month, but what I really need are photos at the demonstration gardens, more of people getting involved. I know, it's limited, but I know some people are still out and about, and it would be great if you could send me photos of things that you're doing over at those gardens to put on social media. And that's all I have to say for this time. And yeah, Rosie's not on right now. She had some work commitments. She may be on later though. So that's it.
Okay. Michelle, I'm just curious, have you and Rosie worked on sending an email out to the leads at the sites to request that?
No.
Is that
Michelle, I can send you a list of who those people are and work with you to start collecting photos from the sites too. So I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. That
That's a
sounds
good suggestion, Jill. Thank you.
Yeah, I just think it's something when you're out there. I know when I'm out there, I mean, I don't think to take photos, you know, at Goble. But if you sent me an email and you reminded me, right? I mean, that I would do it. So I think it's just a matter of getting people in the habit. Like I think Ojai does a fantastic job because they always send out that great report of everything in the garden.
Yeah, but I don't get that report at all. I don't get anything, and so I don't know what's going out in Ojai. And that one I've requested, but I guess they want to keep it more internal.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, no, I'll add you. I'll add you, Michelle.
Okay.
I'll add you on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of they send it to the group out there. And once again, they're not thinking about communication. So I think it's just getting people in the habit and making a few requests. It'll be easy to get that done.
Okay.
Michelle, I'll just
Sounds
say
good.
though, you're doing such an amazing job with the social media. I mean, you do such a wonderful mix of research and fun facts and beautiful images. I mean, I can tell every time you post something, you've done research because it's all science-based and it's really wonderful news. And you have grown both our Facebook and our Instagram pages humongously. So thank you. I know you're kind of doing it on your own and you're doing a really good job.
Very good.
So it's
Thank
way
you,
better
Alex.
than we've been doing. No, thank you.
Thank you. That's really nice of you. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. And thanks to Rosie too. Okay. Next up, we've got Special Projects and Events Committee. Rachel
I
or
don't think they're here. Yeah, they haven't been participating probably because we haven't been able to do many
yeah,
events
because
or
they haven't.
any.
Yeah, not many events happening. Okay. Then we'll move to membership with Jenny or Carol.
Sorry, I'm here. You can't see my costume. I'm dressed as Mrs. Claus, though.
Nice.
Yay.
I look good. I look really good. I don't have anything to report. What's that?
Why can't we see it?
Because my laptop doesn't know it has a camera, and it doesn't matter how many times I drop it and push buttons. The camera doesn't work. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't have anything to report for membership. No cards were sent out this time, and Carol and I have not been to the office yet to do anything there.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. And if you want to take a selfie and, you know, email it over, we can still include you in the costume contest. I hate for you not to be eligible for a prize. We're open to,
Oh, that's a idea.
yeah, just send it over. You can, yeah, do you want it? You can email it to Alexa or Nicole or anybody that, whoever's email address that you have.
Okay, thank you.
Or Alexa, then when we could screen share and everyone can see.
Yeah, Alexa would be the good choice. Okay, great. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to see you, Jenny.
Okay.
All right, next up, we've got Helpline with Susan and Joe.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
As Roanna said, we wrapped up finally the training for the last of the Master Gardener recent graduates who were not able to do their one-on-one helpline training on site. And it was a new format for them and for us. And so tomorrow we're going to have a postmortem conversation with the trainers to see what everybody thought about how that went. But take my hat off and tip it to Nicole in particular for all her help. Greatly appreciated. But it came off without a hitch. We did it on Zoom, and I'll let you know next month what everybody thought about the format. As far as the numbers go for November, this is the first time since we started this new COVID work from home format that the numbers have been comparable to pre-COVID times. Last year, this time we had 25 calls, and this past November we had 24. The majority of them had to do with general horticultural questions, 50%. And we got more.
I'm muted so I can talk, or you can talk.
I'm sorry? Camarillo than anywhere else, although 50% of them were not attributed to any particular place in the community, in the county. And that's my New Year's resolution, is to try to get that number down to, like, I don't know, 15% would be a nice way to go. So we're working on that. Year to date, and that is fiscal year to date, July through November of this year, we are up 18% in calls to the helpline. So people have found us, and the remote helpline format, working from home, seems to be working pretty smoothly. We don't have any issues, and we will begin signing people up for the first quarter, probably next week. Alexa, I am adapting my PowerPoint 10-year analysis presentation to Word, as Dr. Downer had requested, and hope to have that posted next month on the shared drive. And with that, I think over and out, everybody.
I just have one question for Alexa. Is there a possibility you can go to Dr. Downer and ask him if we can increase our continuing education hours on the helpline? Because most of our research now is being done online. And when we sit on the actual helpline, we get 1 hour per day. And right now, with the amount of calls that we get, sometimes we have 3 and 4 days where people are actually doing research. Is there a possibility we can increase the CE hours to 1 per day?
Yeah, I'll definitely talk to him about that. That would make sense, because now you're not just working 2 days a week, but potentially 7. So absolutely, I'll run that by him and report back to you.
Okay, great. And also another thing too is I can't take all the credit for the helpline. Susan's about 90% of it.
That's actually not true, but I don't have anything else to do, so why not?
I have a question for you guys. Are people expressing any kind of frustration that we don't have a phone right now, or do you think email exclusively is working all right? I see Nicole shaking her head, so no, okay. Because I did, when I returned from maternity leave, I checked the voicemail at the helpline phone, and we had 9 messages. And thankfully, it was people saying like, "Oh, okay, you're not there. I'll send you an email." So it sounds like most of those people were a little, perturbed, but then we're like, "Okay, we'll send you an email." But I just didn't know if you guys were, hearing from people. I don't know. I just don't want to exclude any group because they aren't using email, and it's hard to identify who and if that group even exists because we wouldn't be hearing from them. But I am still trying to work on getting a phone. I'm sorry, Susan, what was that?
Sorry, I don't think we get a lot of repeaters. So if, say, somebody were calling us every week, and all of a sudden they couldn't call, it would be one thing. But I think a lot of people that reach out to us haven't done so before, or they haven't in a long time. So I haven't heard anybody complain about that or comment on it. How about you, Joe?
No, I haven't. And I review every email that comes in for content, and I haven't seen anything like that.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and once again, thanks so much for doing that training. I went through it yesterday, and Nicole did a great job, and it was a creative way to do it, but it was really actually fun to get a little more insight onto how helpline works. And I'd been through the first part of the training, obviously, but it was really nice to finally go through the second half of it and have Nicole's guidance as someone who volunteers quite a bit for the line. So thank you all for doing that. I know everybody's glad to kind of have that requirement taken care of.
Hey, Alexa, Jill makes a very good helpline person, by the way. You might want to talk her into joining.
We're just gonna sign her up for everything.
Just put me on every committee. There's no. No,
Well, you
I-
guys have such a committed group. I'm always so impressed that whenever Julie sends out, hey, we have vacancies, I swear it's like 3 minutes later, she'll send an email saying it's been filled. So you guys have a very committed group, but I'm sure there's always room for more, Jill, and others.
Well, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I'll consider it. Oh, sorry, I gotta close my window. There's something going on out there. Okay.
And I saw Lacey just jumped on, Jill. So I'm sure you don't
hi.
have an update from Spec, but it's good to see your face and
Hi.
be here. So we went through Spec in the agenda, but I know you're new to the
Sorry.
committee and
No problem.
Oh no, that's fine. But we can at least show your face. And I think we said,
Yeah,
there's probably nothing happening with special events, and I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Yeah, well, I've been really curious because nobody ever sent out anything about you having a baby.
Oh,
I never saw
That
an
happened.
email. I kept looking and I kept checking and I'm like, I would assume she had a baby by now. So you had a baby?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'll check the VMS because I think Carol Ramser, I think she sent an email
She
to
did
all
send-
Master Gardeners listed in the VMS.
I
I see some
didn't-
people nodding. So let me make sure we have your contact info correct,
Oh.
or it may have gone to spam or junk, but
Maybe, because
But
I
he's
kept
here.
looking. I'm like, I'm sure it would be out by now. So did you have a boy or a girl?
a boy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want to come out, but they forced him out. So he's here
Okay.
now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I have a question for Lacey.
Yes.
Several months ago, you talked about some ideas that you had for
Right.
some cool things, and I wondered if if that's being explored at all, any of those ideas?
So I had so what happened was my father passed away, and
Oh,
it
sorry.
it created like a lot of like my sister came to visit, and so it was like family was visiting. So she left a couple weeks ago, and so I don't know. I've just been really sidetracked for a little bit. But I thought about it. The stand is still there over there, the one that they do actually put stuff by the power lines. But I haven't really, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of just got a little, I don't know, lazy or sidetracked about doing it. I had another idea too as well, which was doing kind of a show, like a YouTube show where I go around to all the different places in 805 area code. And I actually bought a website, a domain called 805discovery.com. And I had an idea for like adults and kids, and I was trying to think of how I could incorporate the Master Gardeners sort of as part of it, like going to like different farms. Like we live next to the raspberry farms on Santa Rosa Valley, which I think is owned by Driscoll's actually, but going back to the avocado nursery and doing that, but somehow incorporating the Master Gardeners, but making it like, has anybody remembered California Gold, that show with Huell Hauser? Yeah, that was sort of my inspiration. And a kid show that's called Blippi. And anyway, I have a little toddler next door. So we're always watching Blippi, and Blippi goes to different places and kind of explains. And it's kind of something that adults want to watch and kids. And so if anybody had any ideas, I thought there's a lot of stuff in our area that people don't really know about. Even things as stupid, I know this sounds weird, but like even the dump, the Simi Valley dump, or like the Water Reclamation Center. I know it sounds stupid, but to be honest, the first time I went to the dump, I was like in shock. I was like, oh my God, they're like making compost. They're doing like all these things that I think most people, I don't know, that maybe like adults or kids so that's my idea that I have now. And I actually bought, I'll show everybody what I bought.
If this is what she's like when she's distracted, what is she doing when she's not?
I just have to say, I loved going to the dump when I was a kid. There were all kinds of treasures.
So this is my animal that I would be taking with me. His or
that's
her
so
name
cute.
is Piper. And she's like a full size like donkey. And my friend suggested that I have something with me that goes on with me to all these trips that, I don't know, sort of like grounds it, you know, like, so anyway. And I actually live next door to a donkey rescue. So
Wow.
yeah. So if anybody has ideas of how we can incorporate the master gardeners into this, I mean, I could go to Herrick one day and show Herrick. But yeah, that's what my latest idea is. So
Very
whatever. I mean, I'm always trying to think of things. It's just, I think with COVID, everything has felt so, I don't know. It's felt weird because I haven't been able to go. I know I can go to the farm, but I know I have to call first and let somebody know. And it kind of just felt a little like, I don't know. COVID's been weird.
I'm really happy to hear your ideas. And I was worried that when you were here at the meeting before, that there were some kind of blocks thrown up of things, you know, obstacles that we all have to trip over. And I was worried that you were put off. And so it's a relief to know that ideas are still percolating. And I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your dad. That is really hard.
Yeah. It was kind of sudden. It had nothing to do with COVID. It just was sudden, and it was like, so we were kind of just, he was in a home, but it was just kind of like, he aspirated his vomit while he was sick and just died. So it was kind of like shocking. And then, you know, we're Jewish, so we have to sit Shiva. And then my sister decided to come sit Shiva with me here half the time. So it ended up being just a little bit like of a longer, because you kind of mourn for like the first 30 days. So anyway, but yesterday was 30 days. And so that's it. But like I said, I think COVID has kind of made everything feel a little different, where we're not seeing each other face to face. We're not really, I don't know, it's kind of been a bummer because I miss going to Herrick and talking to everybody and doing all that. So I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know. Is there any update? I'm sorry that I came late, but was there any update about anything? Are we still on site anywhere or no? They've closed everything down.
We're on site.
Still on site at some locations.
Okay.
The Camarillo is closed completely because the city doesn't want anyone there.
Okay.
And I think maybe Alexa knows best, but I think most of the rest of the sites, I believe, are open. We just have a limited number of people that are allowed to come at any one time, based on you know, COVID and what's happening. But I think most sites allow at least 6 people, and that gets approved through Anamique.
Okay.
And then everybody just has sign-up schedules, and so yes, people are still going to their sites, but just being extra careful and social distancing while they're there.
Right.
And also, Herrick has been sold. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah, but we're still going to be on site for 18 months at least.
Right.
So
who bought it? Does anybody know like what they're going to do with it?
It was a Christian group.
Okay.
Minister group, I think, that are using the house and the barns mostly.
Okay. So they're going to live on it, or they're going to use it like as a social thing?
I think it's a social thing, I believe.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe
so we may still have a presence out there.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, it sounds like that could be that sounds good actually. Cause I kept thinking if somebody buys it for like a venue type of thing where they're going to use it for, you know, whatever, they might not want people coming out there, but yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I love that place. I think it's a great place, but okay, awesome. So,
I'm sorry if you guys can hear me. This is Alexa. My internet just dropped out, so I am attempting to reconnect now. I still have audio, but I'll see if I missed anything in the last, 3 to 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
We were talking a little bit about Herrick, and Nicole let everybody know that that it's been sold.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so sad. Oh well.
So. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I can talk more about that in my section or now, whenever's appropriate. But yeah, sorry, didn't mean to drop out there.
No, No worries. Why don't you talk about it now since we're on the topic, Alexa?
Sure. Yes. And there's also construction next door. So if you hear a lot of banging too, lots of interference here. But I will share, yes. So we all know that the farm had been listed. They received 3 offers, 1 full price. And so they're moving forward with that offer. I think I heard Nicole share that it was a Christian ministry group, and that is true. So they purchased it and we are in escrow. So assuming all goes according to plan, they will be the new owners of the property starting in about a month and a half or 2 months. However, the university is leasing back from them about 10 acres, which includes the greenhouse and all the demonstration gardens, as well as the portables, and then also the hoop houses. So the Hope Shed has already been relocated to one of the hoop houses. However, the group the new owners have expressed interest in keeping Master Gardeners there. So I had a meeting out there with Susan Carter and Giselle and some of the volunteers there yesterday to discuss if that's something we might be interested in. It could continue to be a training grounds potentially for Master Gardeners. The only issue then is that we won't continue to have youth programs on the property. And a lot of the purpose of maintaining the gardens out there are for the field trips. So I was just asking them, if we don't have kids coming to the farm, is there any value for the program in maintaining those gardens, or are we essentially just providing landscaping services for the new owner? So that's something we have to consider is there a way to continue to have a presence on the property that makes sense, that ties back to the mission of the program?
Yes.
So I was sharing.
Sorry, I'm going to cut in really quick. Yes, I definitely say yes, because I have noticed that on the internet, videos have become huge. Gardening videos, how-to videos. I think that the farm could be a great asset. One week doing, the fruit trees, 1 week doing that, espalier, 1 week. I think it would still be doing the demonstrations of planting seeds and all that. I think it would be great. Personally, that's my input about it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there is still so much potential there. And obviously it's a place that we all love to visit and to work. So if the new owners are truly amenable to the idea and Master Gardeners are supportive of it, we'll do everything we can to try and stay on the property. And they want to run it, as a ministry group and use the barns for their services, but also as an event venue. So we're thinking if they do decide to do like tours of the historic home and of the grounds, again, there's a lot more educational potential there too. So that all kind of has to be worked out, and we need to talk to the owners and truly find out what their plans are for the property. But we know for now, at least for 18 months, we can stay there and use the Hope Shed and its new footprint in one of the hoop houses. But yeah, we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, sadly, it did sell. So it's no longer a university property. The university, however, is currently searching for a new property, ideally in the Oxnard Plains. However, it's going to cost a lot more than what they've received from the sale of the Faulkner farm. So we'll see what that looks like. But Anna Meek every week is touring properties throughout Ventura County, trying to find a potential location for a new rec center. So we'll see what that looks like. But at least for now, we'll continue business as usual for the next 18 months or so. And then, decide what the future at the farm looks like beyond that.
Alexa, I have a question, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time for it or not, but what are the reasons that we can't have youth programs there if it's not a UC property?
I need to talk to Susanna more about that. Basically, I think it's all just liability issues, bringing a bunch of kids to the property that we don't own. And I don't know if that was part. I think the broker for the sale of the farm basically went through a list and told us things we should and can do to make the property more appealing for a potential buyer. And one of those things was not having kids running around the property.
Oh.
you know, for the potential destruction, but also the liability issues. And then there's also the concern of the working with schools. You know, are schools going to want to bring groups of students to a non-academic property, but rather now, you know, religious property in a sense. So yeah, just mostly liability issues, but they've already kind of moved away from youth programs, and now our youth programs team is working very closely with SEAG and other groups in the community that are doing similar work. So instead of hosting their own programs, they're now moving more towards supporting other groups that are doing similar work in the community.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
lots of unknowns though, so lots still to be determined. But yes, when I talked to Susanna yesterday, she made it pretty clear youth programs will not continue at the farm. So yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who is Susanna?
As Susanna Brizzoni Miller, she works for the university and is
Oh, and the youth
the
programs
youth
lead or whatever?
education lead. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Alexa. All right, next up we have IPOG, Linda and Bonnie.
Okay, good morning. I have quite a few items, and Melissa, did you see that I sent you over a Word doc earlier this morning?
Yes, I did, and I replied to your email. It'll be tremendously helpful.
Good deal. I only put it in the chat.
So now I can listen to you instead of type.
I'll try and not go off script here.
Okay.
First of all, which is not that IPOG isn't interesting to all. I happen to think it's wonderful, but Linda Hawk, who is our fearless leader chief, she has moved, and she has gathered over the years and has moved to her new place many, many, many plastic planting containers, like 1 gallons and 4x4s and all that kind of stuff, and a heavy duty extension cord if anybody wants it. So contact Linda Hawk, and that was a public service announcement if you want these things, and we'll get them to you. Anyway, okay, so ACP, there are information about ACP, which is the psyllid, and HLB, which is the bacterial disease. This information continues to be distributed. Marty continues to visit the nurseries in Somas and Moore Park areas, and Linda Hawk has a great relationship with Flora Gardens that are in Ojai, and they have agreed to give out Beth's card, which we lovingly call Beth's card. Beth Caldwell has retired now, but is like the gold standard of ACP information throughout the state and the country, basically. Anyway, so this information is still going out. Linda has also asked Dr. Downer if we can receive CE credit for watching podcasts from the University of Florida about the ACP, which is where the whole mess started in the first place here in this country. That was passing information. We were contacted by Andy Spikra, and he's the Ventura County Resource Conservation Specialist, who is heading up a program to save Ojai citrus. And what that's doing, it's like a test project funded by, Annemiek was instrumental in that through the Thelma Hansen Fund to get him grant money. And it will be going around to residences near commercial orchards to contact folks to take out their citrus, because the farmers have it, they have their process in place, but homeowners aren't really that terribly concerned in some cases. So this program will take out the trees and replace them, or just take them out and chip them and leave the chips there. So he reached out to us if we had information and if we've contacted people and how we do residential things. So we've been working with his group. He's I think somewhat new at the whole invasive pest, at least in the ACP world. And I think he recently sent some information publicly to everybody, and it's not quite correct. So maybe we could ask Dr. Faber in-house, or Monique Rivera, which is the extension specialist for the state, to maybe review his information beforehand. Alexa, do you think we could reach out to Dr. Faber about that instead of going to Monique? Or anyway, that's something we need to have some guidance about, because he's been contacting us, and we certainly don't want to hurt his forward motion, but we want information going out to the public to be correct. One of the things he said was, if you see ACP on your tree, you've got HLB, you've got the disease. And that's not necessarily true. It's not completely science-based true. Next item, I've got 3 more to go. We asked to participate, our little IPOG group, in the UC Riverside lemon rootstock trial again. Dr. Faber kind of looped in some of us, and it's so educational and so fun. And if anybody else wants to be included in this information gathering plus work doing effort, to let me know. The true researchers do come, and I just kind of follow along and gain the information that falls off of them into my little brain here as much as I can grab. So it's really a good fun thing. It's work, but it's fun. Next thing is Dr. Downer and Dr. Faber referred an inquiry about HLB from Lou Astbury of the Alameda Master Gardeners. So I guess we're getting to our committee. So we're getting some kind of a rep here for trying to help out people throughout the state. So this person was happy. We connected them up with the state's information and kind of acted as a conduit to, just get out the information, which is really good. So we have been working with Santa Barbara, and we've been working with a lot of Master Gardener groups with this, and LA and different groups. Next one, Dr. Cho from UC Riverside is preparing a Zoom presentation of controlling ants, which I think it might be good, again, in the spirit of cooperation between Master Gardener groups. It might be fun to have the controlling ants Zoom available in some form or fashion once it's been vetted by our folks, that can make sure we're talking about the correct thing. I don't know if that's the Doc Alexa or anyway, but that's an interesting thing about, if you control the ants, you can control a lot of the pests in the citrus trees. And anyway, Dr. Cho is doing all kinds of research. He's like the be all end all at the UC Riverside labs. So that's all I know from the world of bugs, at least the psyllid variety in our IPOG group. So if there's any questions, or email me, or email Linda if you want her treasures.
So can I wanted to just make a comment. I buy a lot of English roses, the David Austins from Otto and Sons, and I have a lot of roses. And about 2 months ago, I had contacted Michael. I don't know if Michael's on here. I don't see his name. Michael, are you on here? Maybe not. Anyway, I had all these weird, like witch's broom, like I had a lot of weird disformed leaves. And I contacted Michael, and he said it looked like rose rosette, whatever. And I was freaking out because I thought I had to pull them all out. And I actually contacted Otto and Sons, and they said that rose rosette is very rare, but chili thrips is like very common on roses around here. And Michael literally was like, oh, I mean, I'm not saying anything about Michael. I mean, he was helping me, whatever, but like, he was like, oh no, it's rose rosette. Like I was like freaking out. I'm gonna have to pull. Anyway, I had never heard of chili thrips. I don't remember it being mentioned in class at all, but the Otto and Son says it's very prevalent on roses in our area. And it's treated with a spinosad. I've been spraying it, cutting off the bad ones and spraying it. And actually, they're doing better, but all my roses had it. And I was definitely freaking out. So sorry, just putting it out there in the bug department, that chili thrips is real. And if somebody has their roses looking really weird and like the leaves are kind of curled and have like broomsticky stems, it's probably chili thrips, not rose rosette. They said it's very rare for this area to get that.
Lacey, do you have some photographs of that?
Yeah. I sent it to Michael when it happened. And of course, rose rosette is not curable, whereas chili thrips is easily curable, and they look very similar. But Otto and Sons is a great resource for your fruit trees and rose bushes. They literally, I had 2 people reply to me that were their head of, their whatever, but I'll put it on the, let's see, what's the best place to post photos of something like that?
Well, I'm wondering a couple things. First thing that
Okay.
came to mind was sharing the information with people that work the helpline, because I think
Okay.
that that's an interesting,
Yep.
I don't know if I'm overstepping here, Joe or Susan, if that's the kind of thing that how you share updates or information with helpline volunteers, but it seems like, as we move into spring and people are paying more attention to roses, that would be a good thing to know. And also I wonder, speaking to Michelle, about communications, I wonder if that's something, once again, we can put out for the public. I don't know if that's the kind of posts that, we do. And I'm not sure how many helpline questions we get about roses, but like you said, that could really, it's very useful information and very good that people don't destroy their roses by mistaking.
When I went online and searched like witches broomstick roses or curled leaves, or like there was a bunch of things like I wasn't getting good blooms, though every single one said rose rosette. Not one place listed chili thrips. So I instantly, that's what I went to, and Michael just happened, I just thought, oh, I'll call Michael. But it is, to me, is very valuable, because I think us in Southern California, a lot of people have roses, and it affected almost 90% of all my roses. And I have a lot, because when we moved into this house, there was already a lot. So I probably have 300 roses here. And so it was really bad. It was really bad. So I started spraying them on my second spray, and all my blooms are starting to come back, and my leaves are looking a lot better. So yeah, to me, that would be something really great. I'll send you the pictures. Maybe I'll send it to you, Jill, and then you can do whatever you.
Yeah,
I'll send you the email. I'll send you the email actually that they both sent me from Otto and Sons, because it was actually very informative, because they were telling me how to treat it in the email.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Then I'll pass that along to definitely to Joe and Susan, and I'll send it to Michelle as well. And people can decide, you all can decide how you want to use that information to the
I
best.
just want to let you know that in the future, if you want to send an email to the helpline, we have a rosarian on the helpline.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And she told us about chili thrips last year.
Oh,
so
awesome.
she would have been able to recognize that. So
okay.
Yeah, if you ever have a question like that again, we get a lot of questions from Master Gardeners and a lot of pictures. So
okay, so I just send it to the helpline. Okay.
I mean, if you have a question like that again, you could. I mean, we do have people that can definitely tell you stuff like that, so you don't get frustrated trying to hunt it down.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it was on the website. I didn't check the Master Gardener website. I'm sorry, what's it called?
UCIPM.
Yeah, UCIPM. Thank you, Alexa. I was getting all my letters. Yeah, I don't remember if I checked that or not. Does anybody know if it's on there?
Thrips are there. I just checked. Thrips are there, but the specific chili thrip isn't.
Okay.
So, but it might give you, then again, I would think the helpline, they're not too much has gotten past them. They've collected up a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Because when I worked on the helpline with Julian for my day that I did it, I mean, I don't remember him mentioning that there was other people. I mean, I know that he passed on some things, but I don't remember him mentioning a rosarian. So that's great to know. Really good to know.
Yeah, and that might be something definitely that I would promote, not to overwhelm anyone, but that I would promote on our Facebook and other social media, because that's obviously a real resource for people.
So again, do people just send you the information, Jill, and you distribute it to like the social media people? Like,
normally you would just send it to the social media people directly, but to save you time, I'm just willing to take it. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
Real quickly, I'll add to Bonnie's earlier comments. When we originally wrote that grant proposal for the Thelma Hansen grant with Andy, he wanted Master Gardeners going door to door. So we negotiated with him to write that out of the grant. So he and his colleagues will be doing the door-to-door. But Bonnie, to answer your question, I think the reason he wanted to engage Master Gardeners is because, particularly IPOG, I mean, you guys are the experts in this. So I would definitely encourage, if he's publishing misinformation, you know, either Dr. Faber or whoever, anybody that can correct him. But he is absolutely open to your suggestions and wants to make sure he's putting out accurate information. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I would encourage
I agree.
you or anyone to get in touch with him and, you know, just let him know kindly. Because as you said, he's fairly new to the Resource Conservation District and definitely new to ACP, which again is kind of why he wanted to partner with the Master Gardeners on this. So you guys are the experts and he knows that. So if you guys see information that needs to be corrected.
It wasn't to be critical. I just thought maybe not a peer or not our membership, but maybe Dr. Faber. I just wanted permission to contact Dr. Faber that maybe he could speak to Andy, and he's so good.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
He would do it in a very kind way too. Good.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bonnie. That was a good update. All right, next we've got speakers here. Lynn, Nicole.
Yeah, I was not able to get Elwyn Kingery to commit to a December Zoom meeting or Zoom presentation. But what we'll be doing probably right after the first of the year is meeting and getting some topics together for the new year. And Harry Lee was so excited with his last veggie presentation that he can't wait to do another one. So we'll have him maybe start the new year. And maybe Olwen can get her presentation together and we'll be looking for more topics. And Alexa, I was thinking maybe, can you send out the recordings of the Zoom meetings that we've had maybe in January?
Yes, I need to get them from Patricia since she was listed as the host for those sessions.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see my computer just kicked me off the internet again. This is why I'm connected on my phone too. Okay, so hopefully you can still hear me. But
yeah,
but yes, I need to get those links from Patricia, and then I'm sure I'll have to go through and do some editing. But I think we can plan on having those available sometime in January. Definitely, we can load them on our YouTube channel.
There was one that let's see, was not recorded the first 20 minutes, but I think it could be put together with the previous one that Harry Lee had done. We could talk about that later if you have more questions about that. But anyway, that's all I have. And we'll be working on something after the first of the year. We'll probably be in Zoom for the foreseeable future, but we'll do what we can. Nicole?
No, I don't, excuse me, I don't have anything to add. I'm hoping Lori Vriki, I think she's on this call, or she was. I hope she'll do another outdoor succulent something or other at Oxnard Farm Park. So, oh, there she is. So anyway, we'll let you know what we come up with. It'll be in the spring, I'm sure.
And I'd be happy to do those. So just feel free to ask whenever you want me to do one. As long as it start raining out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
One more thing, Roanna, you asked me a question and for some reason I can't get in my chat box right now, but it's Janet Sklar. Okay. She is our Rosarian, our helpline Rosarian and Master Gardener.
Yeah, it came through.
Oh, it did. Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
thank you.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for continuing to put things out. We look forward to the stuff in January. All right, we've got Alexa program update.
All right, so I already gave you guys the Hanson update. So there's that. I saw Charlene was on the call. So real quickly, I just want to give a huge thank you to Charlene. If y'all recall, we have those C-trains, those storage containers on the property, and the farm superintendent, John, requested that we purge our container and downsize. And so thank you so much to Charlene. She went out to the farm kind of as our fair expert, and went through what was there. And as I understand it, got rid of a bunch of stuff, but made sure that we kept what is still usable. So thank you so much. It's so appreciated. I was really hoping to be able to share my screen because I have a presentation to show you, but my internet is not working. So thankfully, I at least still have my phone. But let's see, I'll at least verbally let y'all know, and then I will share the link in an email after this presentation. I just wanted to share an update from Calvet. There's been a lot happening at the Veterans Home. Linda, Mary, and Kim have taken over as leads at the site, and they're doing some amazing work planning. And one of the things that they really want to do is downsize the orchard. So they are looking at potentially cutting the orchard down by about 59%. And in her presentation that I will send each of you, Linda went ahead and recorded a video of her explaining the changes they want to make to the orchard and why. That's the link I'll be sharing with you all after this meeting. But they want to seriously reduce the size of the orchard and possibly plant some other things there. So what they're looking to get rid of are primarily the stone fruit. They aren't producing fruit. They require a lot of water, a lot of pruning, a lot of maintenance. And when they aren't getting fruit from it, it's just kind of a waste of labor.
And we lost her.
Oh, can you hear me again?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. The qualms of working from home. Let me see if I can stay online long enough this time. If they reduce the orchard by about 59%, that leaves them with primarily citrus. So they're looking at working closely with IPOG and determining, do we want to keep citrus at that site, or do we want to use it potentially as a demonstration site for an alternatives to citrus program? So it could be a really good educational opportunity in that we could, document the process of removing citrus and planting, figs or some of those alternatives that we're suggesting in the community. So we were wondering if Bonnie or other members of IPOG, if there is funding available. I know like Andy's work with the Resource Conservation District is targeting private residences, but is there anything available for a facility like the California Veterans Home where they might support removing citrus trees and providing alternatives that can be planted on the property?
Well, let me check.
So,
let me check. I know
okay.
we found great deals as far as buying the replacement plants. Andy got great connections to do that, and maybe again to it would be a great political, public service effort to do that if they knew, whoever's donating could get some advertising or something like that. Let me ask.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, so regardless, they want to, cut back the size of the orchard. And if anybody, I will share that link again, but if anybody after watching that has any questions or feedback, please direct your questions to Linda Codman. She's the one who's been doing a ton of work putting together this whole kind of SWOT analysis of the property and how we can better focus our efforts to not only not overextend volunteers because they're out there watering a lot, but also she's trying to make that facility work more closely with the mission of the organization. So there's not a lot of education going on the property. But again, if we introduce this alternatives to citrus program on the site, there's potential there. So if anyone's interested in helping out or has any feedback, again, contact Linda Codman. Let's see. Oh, Giving Tuesday was last week. So I just wanted to share that in that one-day fundraising effort, the Master Gardener program raised about $750. So that was incredible. So thank you to everyone and anyone that donated on Giving Tuesday. That money was split between both the general fund as well as Angels Endowment. So it'll be really great that we can use some of those funds for active programs, and then some of it will be put into the bank to store for future use within the program. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, I had a meeting yesterday with Missy Gable at the statewide office. And I have some news that's probably going to be troubling for a lot of people, but they are not planning on doing a general waiving of volunteer hours. So if you recall last year, due to COVID, the statewide office announced that they were going to waive or create an exception for hours. They are not planning on doing that this year. So they are expecting everyone to complete the minimum required CE and volunteer hours. So they're encouraging everyone now to start getting creative and think of ways that you can achieve your hours. CE, I think, has been easier amidst COVID to get completed. And I know volunteer hours are a lot more difficult. So I'm happy to work with people to find ways within the program. If you don't want to leave your home or work in the garden, there are certainly other opportunities. But that said, there is always the option to seek reappointment without having completed hours. So that is not to say that if you don't meet the minimum required hours, you're automatically bumped from the program. You can still seek reappointment without having completed the minimum hours. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see.
Alexa?
I just wanted to, oh yes, go ahead, Lynn.
What was the reason for that? What was the rationale?
She thinks that it will encourage counties to get more creative. And so she sees this as a wonderful opportunity to move programming online, as you guys have done with like the Speakers Bureau, as well as to, create newsletters and, explore some of those alternative options to producing outputs or to contacting or communicating with the community. So it's really her way of saying we still have all this time. Last year, COVID kind of snuck up on us and we were scrambling and, didn't really know what was an appropriate way to move forward. Whereas this year, the way she sees it is, we knew going into the start of the program year in July that COVID existed. And now, we're about halfway through the program year. So we have about 7 more months to get those hours completed. So she really wants to encourage creativity within the programs and hopefully by people, realizing that they need to still do 25 hours, you start looking at whatever your skill sets might be and we can use those things other than working in the gardens as a way to accrue hours. So yeah, again, I don't want that to freak anybody out because we're not just going to, we still have a lot of ability at the county level to, determine if we want it. It's our county director, Anna Meek, who approves reappointment. So if we have people reappointing who have not completed hours, it's ultimately up to Anna Meek and not the statewide director. But she's just not going to do that blanket wave of hours. So I don't imagine anybody will get bumped from the program for not completing hours, but I just wanted to let people know that at the statewide level, they do still have an expectation that folks are meeting those minimums. Any other questions about that?
Yeah, Alexa, this is Jill. So are you going to send a notice to folks like in January and let them know that and then give them some suggestions on things that they can do before July or June, whenever?
Yes, absolutely. I usually do send like a mid-year update anyway for folks just saying you've done so many hours, you have so many more to complete. So I will definitely be doing that. And if folks have suggestions for ideas, like if you're like right now for Calvet, they're doing all this planning and it's a lot of office time. They're spending a lot of time at their computers. And especially Linda doing that SWOT analysis where she's analyzing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if you have suggestions, please send them to me. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be happy to put together a list that I'll share with everyone of my suggestions. But yeah, it's an opportunity to get creative. So if you have ideas, feel free to share them and pursue them and we'll see, what it produces.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I think, like you said, I don't think it'll turn out to be an issue, but I can also see, I think there's been a lot of concern about people falling away from the program and us losing volunteers, especially some of the, people that are really worried about their health, and people that are new to the program and haven't quite found their place yet, right? That perhaps Missy's trying to just, be sure that people are incentivized to stay engaged in the gardening program throughout COVID and not just disappear. And that it's not meant in any way to be punitive in nature, but just encouraging, like you said, about our creativity and keeping up engagement. So hopefully it'll serve as a motivating factor for our volunteers.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And
let's see, I'm sorry, let me just make sure I'm getting everything on my list. Oh, and then I just wanted to share very quickly that when I met with Peg and Jill last week, we talked about doing a review in the coming months of our approved sites. So we currently have 9. However, as I discussed, we've sold the farm and we have other sites that, maybe aren't meeting the program's mission or aren't enjoyable for volunteers anymore. So we really want to look at those 9 sites and critically examine if they are fulfilling the purpose of the program. So just wanted to share with everyone that that's something we're looking to do, is to kind of do this review of the approved sites, and as well as developing a list of criteria for establishing new sites. Me and Dr. Downer, and I'm sure others, are approached very frequently with sites wanting Master Gardeners to support their efforts. And so we want to be able to maybe reach out to some of these new partners in the community and support them. And so we'll be working on developing a list of criteria for becoming a Master Gardener approved site. And then hopefully in the next 6 months or so, maybe introducing a couple of new sites to the program. So if people have suggestions, please send those my way. I know we already have a list going of a couple of ideas, but if you have any thoughts, please let us know and we'll be happy to include those in our review of potential new sites. So just wanted to share that also. Okay, I think that's it for me, unless anybody has any questions.
any questions about anything? No? Okay, everyone. It appears, I don't think Dr. Downer joined us today. Is that correct? He's not on the call?
No, I don't see him.
Okay, all righty. All right, so that concludes all of the items on our agenda. Is there any other business that anyone else would like to discuss before we adjourn the meeting today?
Are we going to vote for our, before people leave, are we going to vote for the outfits?
Yeah, I was going to do that after the close of the official business meeting.
Oh, got it. Okay. So don't leave, in other words.
Oh, go on, Rolana.
Okay, I got those items when they cleaned out the red barn, and I need to know the best way to show people what I have, so those committees who may want to use this stuff will take it from my garage. So
what kind of stuff is it?
Plant tags, plastic bags, paper bags, 2 different kinds, a paper tag. I can actually show you, I think. If I can screen share. If you can give me the power to screen share, I can show
Yes,
you
let me
pictures.
set you up for that.
If nobody in particular is taking it, can we put it in the storeroom, the Master Gardener storeroom at the office?
We can. Would it fit in there?
Is it too much? How much stuff is it?
Yeah, it's not that much.
Okay. I mean, because it sounds like stuff we could use. I mean, I wouldn't want to get rid of it.
No, well, maybe the best thing to do then is just for me to take it to the office. And then when different committees are making things, they can see that it's in there. Or do you want to see what it is?
I just made you a co-host if you want to screen share, but yeah, in the meantime, we
Okay.
can certainly store it at the office.
Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Is it coming up?
No.
Can you
There it
see
is.
that?
I can see it.
Lunch bags.
Lunch bag, there's like a whole, like a banker's box of lunch bags. These are plastic bags with a sealant on the top. There's a whole box of these plant tags. More plastic bags, and then these paper tags. And then this is a different kind of plastic bag.
I'll take the cookies.
Yeah, those were really good cheese biscuits. But yeah, so that's what it is. So tell me what you want to do with those things.
I think we
If
should.
anyone sees a need for them, feel free to speak up, but Rowan, I'd be happy to come pick them up from you too and bring them to the office so we could store them there until we have a use for them also.
Okay. All right, that would be great. Whenever you want to do that, just let me know.
Okay. And real quickly, my internet just came on, so I just shared the link in the chat box for Linda Codman's video with her plans for the Calvet Orchard. So if anyone's interested in checking that out, I'll share it in an email too, but just wanted to let you know that that's been posted in the chat box.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, so real quickly here, I'm going to go ahead and officially adjourn our meeting for today at 11:20.
You didn't pass